I wasn't seconding the motion. Okay, thank you. So, I'm glad we got that clarified. So I will not be supporting the motion for many reasons. Number one is process. So to Councillor Costante's point, who said this started in 2019, it didn't start in 2019, it started over a decade ago with the Aquatic Center. We reaffirmed the commitment to not close Adie Knox multiple times. We decided the last time to close it after continued efforts. Part of that original plan was also, as a reminder, a repurposing of the pool at Waterworld. We had actually a great public consultation for that, where we've invited the entire community out to tell us what you wanted in the area of the closed pool. Well, that never happened. Not only did it not happen, we then tried to close that community center 3 times since. It's now today not a community center, and it's being used for something else. So this plan and the process that started over 10 years ago has had many twists and turns. To simplify it, to say it was from 2019 doesn't actually give the entire process justice. I mean, tonight we came with a report that had administrative recommendation to move on phase 1 with phases, but now we're learning that it's all happening at once. Why call it phase 1, phase 2? We were told at budget time last time that the $9 billion would go to University Avenue, but pulled if we got the green and inclusive. We didn't. We pulled it anyway. So to Councillor Costante's point, that road project and infrastructure project has been a priority for a long time. There's a huge amount of investment happening on that road. 15 million minus 9 is now 6. With inflation, that's going to get us a block if we're lucky. So, and as Joe put it, there will be many budget considerations and pressures this year that are going to compete with that University Avenue funding. So at the end of the day, you know, this is not a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We're doing this as a choice, and we're moving ahead. And this neighborhood deserves everything that's coming to them in this community center, plus a pool. That's the problem here. We are conveniently omitting it at every time we're talking about how proud we are of this investment. I mean, we're going to start using world class. We're going to start talking about how this is an amazing investment for the community. The community wanted a pool here. They didn't want a pool at the university. And if we got a pool at the university, we could have used that to subscribe to over services, to add services to the West End. God forbid we actually add something to that neighborhood in a way that actually listens to what the residents wanted. Then you take the investment and we apply for the Green Inclusive Fund, and we find out today that we're not even close to meeting our own energy plan. And to Councillor Costante's point, could we still hit our goals of 40% without doing this? Sure, but this hinders us. This actually sets us back. It's a new build plus a retrofit where we're basically doing the building code of Ontario. We're not even following our own goals, but we're expecting other people in the community and other developers and things to reach the goals that we've set out for them. Another plan that we, you know, set out targets and we leave on the shelf when we have our own developments. So, you know, we can call this world class. We can be proud of what we're doing here. What we're doing here is we're giving a community center to a community that's needed this for generations. We're finally giving them what is basically a simple thing for their neighborhood. We closed the one in their neighborhood years ago, a decade ago. So by replacing that, we shouldn't be all patting ourselves on the back and it's such a great amenity. We should be doing this, and we should have listened to them, and we should have listened to everybody who wanted a pool there. It's ridiculous, and then we're saying, oh, you get it, but there's a splash pad. I mean, this is the type of thing where we go out with a process, we change the process over and over and over again, intermittently amongst those steps and amongst those processes. We don't consult properly. Then when people are not happy and are upset, then we're wondering, what are they complaining about? We're giving them a $50 million pool at the university. We're giving them a gym, a walking track, pickleball courts, all these things. They should just be happy. They should just be happy with what they're getting. This is the conversation that we constantly have because something's in front of us and we don't want to turn it down. Councillor Mackenzie mentioned, it's a $20 million investment in the neighborhood and in the community. It is, but it should have been there years ago, and it should have been well planned and well laid out, and we should have asked the residents what they wanted. And these are the conversations that that lead us down the paths to say, for us around this table, to tell the residents how good of a deal they're getting, how great of an amenity they're getting. And so, I mean, for all of these reasons, plus the fact that we're now slashing the University Avenue budget by 60% by doing this, when in fact it was explicit that it wouldn't go to this if we didn't get the Green and Inclusive Fund. These are the priorities, and these are things that should be laid out, and it should be laid out, and we should be looking at these at budget time in consideration with everything else, but at the same time with what the community wanted. So the pool, and whatever it is, maybe that means we get rid of the music room and a pickleball court, or the splash pad. But that's what the community wanted. So for all these reasons, I won't be supporting the motion.
On the motion? On the motion? Members of the audience, please, on the motion. Councillor Francis.